Alrighty, welcome everybody. I hope everyone's having a good day and things are going well for you. My name is Julie Brown. I am a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and welcome to my free online class. So, excuse me. So if this is your first time joining me, just so that you know, you can type in questions. You can type in and let me know that you're here. And I'll see your name. I do look up once in a while so that I can see who's here and what questions people might have. So you guys are lucky if you're starting tonight, because tonight is week 1 of my 5-week Wednesday night lives on making Christmas cards. So hopefully you're in the mood for Christmas and you'll want to make these cards. Now the way this works is this is a free class. But if you want the card kits, you can also get those for free. All you have to do is place a online order with me of $40 or more between now and next Monday. So each week you'll have the opportunity to get the card kits, but you will have to be placing those $40 orders to get those. So, but everything else is free. You can watch for free. I'm going to talk to you about dimensions, give you all of that information up front. So just in case you guys are wanting to do that, I'm going to put this up really quick. So if you want to take a quick snap of that, that'll tell you where to go to shop with me if that's something that you decide that you want to do. Alrighty. Now let me see if I can get that off of there. Oh goodness. Oh, okay. Okay, so we are going to be working with 2 bundles tonight. The first one is the Peaceful Season bundle. Now, Stampin' Up! Has what they call a suite collection. A suite collection includes like the paper, the stamp sets, the dies, the any embellishments like ribbon. And this one is like a super sweet collection. So I am using that suite. So it is called, let me just put that up. Let me put that up first. So just so you guys know, this is the product list besides the bundles that I'm going to show you. There's the product list. So if you want to take a quick snapshot of that, you can. That's just showing you everything that I am using tonight. I am using a couple, a ribbon that has retired, and I will talk to you about that. I can no longer get that for you. You might be able to find it or something comparable to it. Okay. So, but the 2 bundles that we're going to be using tonight are going to be the Peaceful Seasons bundle and the Peaceful Evergreens bundle. And I'll put these back up later so that you can get those codes if you want them. Okay, so let's take care of some of my housekeeping here. So if you guys do want to place an order with me, please use that hostess code right there for today and tomorrow. That'll change for November 1st. You can order through me at juliebrown.stampinup.net, and there's all my other information. So I want to be able to get all 4 of these cards done in an hour, so let's get started. All right. So for card 1, let me grab all the stuff that I need for that one. So what I did for this one was I actually used a very vanilla card base. And then this is that beautiful paper. Oh, sorry, let me get that out of the way. That too. This is it's called Season of Elegance, and it's got the gold filament in it. And you're going to get to see all the different colors tonight that this comes in. So this is absolutely beautiful paper. Okay, so we're going to need a very vanilla card base, and then I used a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of the Season of Elegance. You're also going to need a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 cherry cobbler, and then a 4 by 5 1/4 very vanilla. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to show you guys, because I think we sometimes forget this, but we can stamp right on this beautiful paper. And so I wanted to kind of show you my thought process in this. So I really used this Beautiful Season stamp set because it had a lot of sentiments on it, and that's exactly what I wanted for this card. Now I am using black Memento ink for this, and as you'll see, I'm just going to stamp straight onto this. This is one of the quickest and easiest ways for you to make Christmas cards and get them done pretty dang quick. So all I'm going to do, and I'm not going to be like perfectly exact in any of this, but I want this Christmas first. So I'm going to stamp that, and I'm just going to set those to the side, and I'll clean those in a second. And then what I do is I'm just going to come in with the rest of the sentiments that are in this set. Maybe. Oh, there it is. And the way I kind of do this is I just kind of, I don't know why I put that back on there, is I just kind of go kind of figuring out, like, you know, where things are going to fit. And so that might not fit there, but it could fit diagonally right here. I don't put these on here straight. I do them like back and forth across everything just to give it a little bit. I'm going to move this stamp set over here so it doesn't rock that. So now I can bring this one in here. And all we're doing is we're just going to stamp a bunch of different sentiments onto the front of this card base. Let me see if that will fit there. Yeah, I think that one actually will, but I think I want to do, let's see what I want to do. Okay, this one just says in the air. And so there's really not any rhyme or reason. What I like about this stamping style is you don't have to be perfect when you're doing this. You're just trying to get all of these sentiments onto the card. Or not all of them, but as many as you can get. So we're going to put this one here. All right, and that's probably plenty right there for this. You don't have to like go overboard with it. Let me bring that in a little bit more so you can kind of see what I did there. So isn't that kind of, I think that's kind of a fun technique. It's a technique that we sometimes forget that we can do. When we've got this beautiful designer series paper, you know, guys, a lot of times when we're trying to do quick and easy Christmas cards, it really is about, you know, letting the designer paper do its work. And then just adding to, and this is one of the quickest ways that I have found to get some Christmas cards done. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to set that to the side, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp what I want on the inside of this card. And so I just want one of the other sentiments that says, thinking of you with warm feelings and a wish for all the merriest. So that's going to be what goes in the inside. Let me bring that down. And again, guys, if you're new to my site, you can type in questions, comments, let me know you're here. All right, so let's get this going. And you know, I've always told you I try to line it up. And I know you can't see the bot here. Let me move this up here. I try to bring it down to me so I can see. But what I try to do is get my bottom edge lined up straight. And you can see I got a piece of black right there, so I'm going to turn that over. I mean, this is my first card, and I already have black on my hands. What the heck? Okay, so then I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to go straight down. Put a little bit of pressure, and bring that straight back up. And there we have our sentiment for the inside of the card. Let's go ahead and clean this off. And again, guys, don't forget, you can type in questions and ask any questions that you might have during the process of tonight's card making. Okay, I'm going to just fan that off a little bit. And you know what? I left my, hold on one hot second. So most of you guys know I've been doing junk journals. And so I had my tape runner over there where I work on my junk journals. I have a really large table just on the other side of this desk, and it lets me spread out, which is something that I need when I'm doing the junk journal stuff. Junk journaling is really all about, you know, making things kind of ahead of time, but just like when you're sitting and you don't have anything to do, you don't want to make a card. I sit down and I do my ephemera. I do some other things with that. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is let's go ahead and put this on the inside of the card. Oops. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to stick that on the inside of my card. And then something that I thought would be fun. So this is the ribbon that is retired, but I just thought this ribbon went really well since I was using Very Vanilla. And it had this, you know, gold filigree in here. I just thought this ribbon would be perfect for this. So all I did for this is, and my Take Your Pick tool is also over on that other desk. So I'll be using my tweezers tonight. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little mini glue dot right there. And again, you can use, you know, any ribbon that you want to use for this. This was just what I wanted to use. Now, the good thing is that if you guys do place the order with me, then you will be getting this ribbon in your kits. So you will get this ribbon and you will get to play with this ribbon. Actually, I think I want to do this straight, and then I want to bring this around, and I want to kind of curve it, make this one have kind of a curve to it, and then I'm going to wrap it around the top and make this straight on the top as well. And then I'm just going to flip that over and use another glue dot. And I'm just going to do one more little check to make sure I've got this as straight as I want it. And this is where you have your time to adjust anything. And so I'm just going to flip that around like so. And then I'm just going to take my tape runner. I'm going to hold this down and get some tape actually on top of this ribbon. Again, it's just kind of an extra to help hold it in place. And then this is going to go on the front of our card. And guys, look how super elegant that is with just stamping some sentiments here. And can you guys see the gold, like little flakes all the way through this paper? This paper is super pretty. And so again, you know, there's times where it's just easy to let the paper do its work. And then I did bring in these neutral adhesive backed sequins. And that's what I'm using. I'm using this gold right here. So I'm going to use this gold to put on the front of this card just to jazz it up a little bit more. Oh, I feel lost without my Take Your Pick tool. But I want to get this done within the hour, so I don't want to waste too much time running back and forth to grab stuff off my other desk, which it seriously is just right over there, but I don't want to waste your guys' time. All right, so there you go. That is card number 1. All right, so now let's move on to card number 2. Let me get this stuff out of the way. And again, guys, so just so I want to make it clear to everybody, Stampin' Up! Has a no stamp policy with us. So if you do the order and you do get the card kits, all you'll be getting is the card kit with all of the paper. Anything that I die cut out, you'll have that. But you will have to do your own stamping and stuff. But like I said, if you order one of these, that's your, I mean, like this particular bundle is $52. Not only would you get the card kits, but anytime you go over 50, I throw in another surprise for you. But you could order one of the bundles, and then you would get all of these card kits that you're going to see me make tonight. shipped to you, and all you got to do is put them together. Okay, card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2, you're going to need a Mossy Meadow card base. You're going to need a Very Vanilla piece that is, I believe this is 4 by 5 1/4. You're going to, now see, this is that same paper, but it's in the old olive and Mossy Meadow. And so it's still absolutely gorgeous. This is 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then you need another Very Vanilla piece. That is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. I must have something on my hands, or I don't know why I'm getting stuff everywhere. Then you're going to need like a 1 by 3 3/4 strip. Now if you guys, like I said, if you guys do get the card kits from me, you do place the order and get the card kits, this die that you're going to see me cut will already be cut out for you. You'll just have to stamp the sentiment. And then you'll need a 3/4 by 2 3/4 Mossy Meadow. Of course, again, guys, if you get the card kits from me, you don't have to worry about cutting all of this. I do all of that for you. I ship them to you. You're going to pull them out of the envelopes, and everything's going to be like you see it, except any die cuts will be cut for you. All right, so let's do some stamping. I'm going to grab some scrap paper here to put underneath. Maybe. All right, let's just use this. Okay. All right, so this time we are going to use the stamps from the Peaceful Evergreens bundle. We're going to be using these 3 big trees right down here for this one. Okay, so this is card number 2. And what we're going to do is I'm going to use the medium and the small trees. We're going to bring in Mossy Meadow ink. I tried not to use a ton of ink for you guys either, especially because I know some of you are just starting in your stamping adventure. You may not have a bunch of inks yet, and so I was trying to keep it as easy as possible for you guys. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of move this up, and we're going to come in and we're going to stamp this kind of off the bottom of the page. Now this is full ink, and then what I'm going to do is pick it right up, and I'm going to go right back down a little bit higher. This is called second generation stamping for those of you that don't know. And so then we're going to stamp it like that. And what this does, this is kind of cool. So what this does is if you only have one green, I just got 2 different shades of green. So this is a way to make your inks go a little bit farther, especially, again, like I said, I mean, guys, we know when you first get started, it's hard to get all of the stuff that you want, but this is a good way of using the same color of ink. And look at that, isn't that cool? And you end up getting 2 shades of the color. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and stamp that. Let me move that. I'm gonna go ahead and do the inside of the card. I'm gonna clean all my stamps as soon as I'm done with all of the stamping. That'll give you guys a little bit of a chance to catch up with me while I'm cleaning stamps. So those of you that are trying to follow along. And again, if you're just watching and you can, again, I know you guys probably don't have the card kits yet, but this will be on my YouTube and on my Facebook channel. You can go back anytime and watch it. Or if you're wanting to do this tonight, and you didn't grab all the stuff, because I don't really tell you guys ahead of time what you're going to need. But if you're trying to grab some stuff and catch up with me, that's fine too. Just realize that that's why I take some time to clean my stamps, because that allows you guys to catch up. Okay, so again, Mossy Meadow, and it says Christmas. And then I did and you'll notice this time I stamped off 3 times. So I stamped full ink. This is second generation, third generation. And it looks like 3 different shades. All right, so we're going to set that to the side. Then I'm going to bring in the little Mary. And this is from, now remember, I'm using 2 different sets. So I am using the Peaceful Season, which has all the sentiments on it. And then the Peaceful Evergreens, which has all the trees and other fun stuff. Okay, so I'm going to take this Mary, and I'm just going to stamp it right in the middle. That way it'll allow me to do the die cut. Again, guys, if you're getting the card kits from me, you don't need to panic because this will already be cut out for you. And all you'll need to do is stamp the sentiment onto the die cut. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamps now. So those of you that are stamping along with me and you're needing some time to catch up, this is the time. One good thing to remember to do is to stamp off on a piece of paper before you clean your stamps, because that just helps whatever you're using to clean your stamps with to not get as much ink on it. And so I'm going to be stamping off, so I'm going to go ahead and clean all these. And if you guys are stamping along with me, hopefully that's going to give you time to catch up. Alrighty. All right. Also, guys, if I hear a lot of times people are always telling me, hey, I didn't know you were going live and I didn't realize till after you were gone. If you guys will actually subscribe and follow, I think it's the ringing on the YouTube, it's ringing the bell. But if you guys will do that, then either Facebook or YouTube will let you know every time I'm going live. The other thing on Facebook is you have to go in on your notifications and tell it to notify you when I go live. So for those of you that are like, I don't understand why I'm not, you know, I used to be able to see you, now I don't. Again, remember, Facebook is constantly changing things, and so we always have to adjust and keep up with Facebook. So yeah, you just gotta, in Facebook, you've just got to say allow the new notifications to come through, and it'll let you know every time I'm live. On YouTube, you want to ring the little bell and subscribe, and again, it's going to let you know when I'm live. So there you go. That is the answer to that question, which is probably one of the questions I get the most. So again, so these dies coordinate with the Peaceful Season, which is the sentiment stamp set. There's some really fun dies in here. This one being one of them. And this is the mini stamp and cut, stamp and emboss. Oh my gosh, that machine. Look how cute that banner is when it's cut out. Isn't that super cute? But do you see why I give myself, so I always try to do like a 1 by 3 3/4, 1 by 4 when I'm doing something like this. So it allows me to stamp my sentiment. And even if my sentiment doesn't stamp exactly straight, it still gives me some leeway to move my die cut so that I'm able to cut it out easily. That's just kind of a tip for you guys. When you're, I know that we're always trying to save and, you know, make our scraps go as far as possible, which is great. But again, you want to give yourself a little bit of room to do stamping, especially when you're going to be stamping a sentiment and then cutting it out. Okay, so this one is going to go on the inside of the card. So here we go. Our last card is going to be an easel fun fold card, so make sure you stay and watch that one. Alrighty, so there's that. And so next what we're going to do is we're going to take that piece that we stamped here, and we're going to stick this on the left side with the idea that we're going to be leaving the same amount of space as if this was a 4 by 5 1/4 piece, because I've got that really pretty Season of Elegance specialty paper. So I hope you guys will join me for the next 5 weeks, because I'll be doing Christmas for the next 5 weeks. I know I was going to wait till November, but come on guys, we're only 2 days out, right? Plus I wanted, you know, I wanted to make sure you guys all have a chance of getting these. And just by the way, again, if you do place the order, you do get the card kits. I do get those out to you. They will be going out to you next week. So you will get them in plenty of time to put these cards together and get them out for Christmas. Because as you see, I mean, this should only take us about an hour tonight, maybe even less, to put these cards together. They're super easy, but super cute. I like the cards that make it look like we've done so much work, and we really didn't. But, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, I want these Christmas cards to be duplicatable for you guys. I want you guys to be able to, you know, to go in and to be able to make these. Okay, so then I'm going to that little strip of Mossy Meadow. We're just going to adhere this to that. And I'm going to bring in my liquid glue for that. Alrighty. So here we go. And this is going to stick in here like this. Oopsie. And literally this barely fits top to bottom on here. So you can see I've got this top almost right up to that edge. Well, it is up to that edge, and the bottom fits right there. And then how cute is that with that little banner? And then I decided to go ahead and pop this up. So let me bring in some dimensionals. Whoa, I just threw them across the, did you guys see that go across the camera? It's like crazy. Simmer down, simmer down. Alrighty, so we're gonna get this in here. Get those on. These are our Stampin' Dimensionals, and what they do is they pop things up to give it dimension and height. And so what I'm gonna do is I don't wanna go all the way up to the top. I wanna be about, I'm gonna say 3/4 of an inch down. Kind of between a 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to kind of mess with that until it looks straight to my eye. And then we're going to bring in these really fun, these actually do go along with the Season of Elegance suite. They are called the Gold Textured Adhesive Back Dots. I will put that list back up at the end so that you guys can write down any numbers that you might want if you see anything that you want. I can try to make it as easy as possible. So we're just going to put 3 of these on here. And I'm going to do 1 large, 1 medium, and 1 small. All right, and card 2 is done. What do you guys think? So isn't this paper is just so beautiful. And I love these trees too. I'm in love with the trees, I got to admit. So it says Merry, and on the inside Christmas, and we've got some trees on the inside, and then we've got the trees on the outside. So that is card 2. All right, let's move on to card 3. And this time, I don't know if you guys are aware, but Stampin' Up! Has a new color of cardstock called Basic Beige. And so we are going to be using the Basic Beige for this one. Okay, so for this one, let me just tell you what you need. And again, guys, please don't feel bad about asking questions. I'm here. This is what I do in my in-person card classes. I ask questions, and so I want to make sure that I'm available to you to do that. Okay, so for this one, did I not do the card base? I don't think I have the card base cut for this one. Okay, I'll do that in a second. You're going to need a Basic Beige card base, and then you're going to, look how pretty this is. So this is like the Basic Beige with the gold. Guys, this paper is beautiful. So we've seen Cherry Cobbler, we've seen the Old Olive, and then there is also a darker green, which is the Mossy Meadow, and then there is this one. Beautiful, beautiful paper. And then you're going to need 2 Cherry Cobbler pieces, and I believe these are both 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then a Basic Beige piece by 4 by 5 1/4. Again, guys, if you get the kits from me, you don't need to count this out. And then I am going to be including a big sheet like this. Again, please understand, I keep explaining this, but I continue to explain it. Stampin' Up! Doesn't let us stamp images for you, so you would either need this set or another set with trees on it, but I'm going to give you the paper that you'll be able to stamp on, and then we're going to be cutting it out with the dies. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to stamp one of each of the trees. And then I'm also going to leave some room at the top up here so that I can do my sentiment and cut that out. So that's the biggest tree. And then this is the middle tree. And when you're stamping stuff like this, where you have dies that go along with it to cut it out, you want to, you can still save space, but you want to leave enough space so that you can cut these out. Now, that doesn't mean you can always cut them all out at the same time, but you just want to leave enough leeway so that you can get them all cut out. Because sometimes what happens is these dies stick out a little bit, and so I may not be able to cut all these at the same time, but I'll definitely be able to get them cut out with the dies because I've left space in between. Okay, and then let me set these to the side. I'll clean these in just a second. And then we're going to come in with the Cherry Cobbler ink. And at the top, across the top of this, centering, again, because I'm going to be cutting this out with a die, I'm going to do this A Season of Wonder and Happiness. And again, the two stamp sets that I've showed you, these are all coming out of those stamp sets. So to save a little bit of space, I'm going to bring this down a little bit because I know I've got room. And the nice thing about like stamping this and then cutting it out is you don't have to worry about being super straight with your stamping. Okay, so I'm going to leave this in the picture so you can see how I stamped that while I clean my stamps. You guys can get caught up on that stamping. You guys, sorry about the squeaking. I push kind of hard when I'm cleaning my stamps. So I'm just cleaning these, and this is our chamois. It usually comes, it's really pretty purple when you first get it, but all you do is, I just get a stamp case, and then you just wet it with water, and that cleans your stamps for you. Pretty simple. All right. So let me get all of that out of the way. And then we're going to bring in our die cut machine. We're going to bring the big one in this time because we've got a bigger piece. That small one, you can only have a piece of paper that's about 3 inches wide for that one to work. Okay. So here's our big die cut machine. So we're going to stick this on here. Got some paper on there, so I'm just going to lay this down, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and do so the sentiment dies are coming from the Peaceful Season die set that coordinates with and look at all the pretty labels in this one. They're so pretty, but we're going to use this one right here, and I'm going to go ahead and get this centered with my words. So it's nice and wait till you see this when it's cut out. It's so stinking pretty. So I'm just going to put a little bit of, this is kind of my Post-it note tape is what it's called. And then I'm going to pull in the other die set, which is the Peaceful Evergreens die set. And I'm going to use these trees, and we're going to cut the trees out. Okay, again, as you guys can see, this isn't, none of this takes a long time to do. And if I was making multiple of these cards, obviously I would stamp a bunch of these. And then I would probably, while I'm watching TV, stamp and then die cut. and then you're ready to put the cards together. So sometimes it's good to do a little bit of an assembly line. Alrighty. So let's stick this down. Here we go. And if guys, if you put questions in and I don't answer them, it could be there's a glitch going on. I don't see them. Especially I know sometimes with YouTube, if you don't have a YouTube account, sometimes it doesn't let you post, or it posts your questions, but sometimes I don't see them live. I don't see them until after I get off. And if that's the case, I will answer them later. I will answer, I will personally answer them. So same thing with Facebook. If you guys are watching the replay, again, still put in the questions that you have, and I'm more than happy to answer those when they pop up on my screen. Okay, so I'm just taking all of the die cuts out. Sorry, I'm trying to get my dies to all. I'm very good about getting my dies put back on my magnetic strip that I have for them, because I have lost dies in the past. So it's a good habit to get into, to always put your dies back onto the sheet that you took them off of, so that you don't lose them. Okay, let's move this out of the way so we can get this card finished up. Oh, I've got to grab that card base. So I'm going to cut a card base for myself. And again, this is that new basic beige. And just here's another little trick. I had been cutting card bases for years, and one of my team members finally said, why don't you score it first before you cut it? Because then you don't have to score and cut. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. So I'm going to go ahead and score this at 4 1/4. And then I'm going to turn it and cut it at 5 1/2, because out of an 8 1/2 by 11, you will get 2 card bases. But the nice thing is it's already scored, so I only had to score once. For years. And I mean years. I didn't do that until one of my team members were like, oh my gosh, why don't you do this? And I'm like, I don't know. That's brilliant. Why don't I do that? Okay. So now, and I want to show you that label. Isn't this absolutely beautiful? It's got the stitching. It's got the embossed little flourish on each end. Really, really like those. And then here's my 3 trees that I cut out. And so what we're going to do is we are going to, if I can, oh, it's right over here. We are going to go, oh, I forgot to do the inside stamping. Silly me, that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take our Seasons of Elegance specialty paper, and we're going to mount it onto this mat. And another thing that I do want to tell you guys is if you're trying to conserve paper, when you're using a big piece like this and you're covering all but just the edge, you can come in with a die cut and cut things, like you could do 2 circles out of the center of this, because once you put this on, nobody ever knows that you've cut stuff out of the center. But that's a good way to conserve your cardstock if you're concerned about doing that. Okay, so now what I want to do is I am going to bring in, now unfortunately Stampin' Up! Is currently out of stock with this beautiful cherry cobbler and gold ribbon. Again, you won't have to worry about that if you place your order and I'm sending you the card kit, because it'll be included in it. But right now this ribbon is currently out of stock and I'm in love with it. It's so pretty. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to run it through those two ends. Now, one of the things that I like to do is I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to bring in a glue dot. And I am actually going to secure this on the back. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to get it straight. Like, you know, as far as like my two ends here. And I want the ribbon to be straight, and then I'm just going to push it down onto that glue dot just so that kind of holds that in place. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my Stampin' Seal Plus. And I'm going to take this, and I want this clear up here to where it's only about maybe a 1/16 and 1/8 inch from the top of the paper, the specialty paper. And then I'm also looking left and right. I want to get it centered left and right. So if you guys will notice, even though I have the glue on the back of that already, because I'm not pushing it down into place, it's easy for me to be able to move it. Okay, I think that looks good. So now I can go ahead and push that down. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm just going to run some Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to lay that down. You can trim that ribbon if you want to. I'm not going to worry about that. And then we're going to bring, actually before we put this on, now we're going to put our trees on the bottom down here. And I started from the left with the smallest and went from left to right. And I'm just going to use my liquid glue for this. You can use whatever glue makes you happy. So I'm going to lay this one, lining up the bottom with that bottom corner right there and getting it straight. Then I'm going to come in with the medium one, and it needs to overlap that small one. Now you can do what I call a dry run, and what that means is before you put the glue on the back, you can kind of lay everything down to see how much room you have. But I can kind of do that now. So I know I want this tree to be right there, so I can move that out of the way. And I want that tree to sit right there. Then we're going to come in with this larger one. And we are going to stick that on here. Like so. Isn't that pretty? I really love these trees. I just think they're so pretty. The paper is gorgeous. Again, the paper, and you guys know me. Anything, I love easy buttons, right? And to me, the die cuts and the designer series paper or the specialty paper definitely make things easier, make my life easier. Don't know about you guys, but it definitely makes my life easier. Okay, so then we're going to just lay this here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some of my basic rhinestones. And I am going to bring in my dark. And you guys are going to get to see what happens when you put these in wrong. So see how the tip of mine is not a nice tip. It's kind of fat. That's what happens when you aren't careful when you're putting these in. And then you also need to be super careful when you're coloring in your gems. I don't have to be anymore because this tip's already ruined. But see how it's all fluffy and not good. And it mainly was because when it got pushed back in, it didn't go down the center. So be mindful of that when you guys are putting your stuff together. Okay. And so now what I want to do is I want to come in with this one. And I'm going to bring in my cherry cobbler. And we're gonna do the Christmas. I really like this sentiment, this Christmas sentiment. So I'm just tapping, guys. I'm not pushing down hard when I ink up my stamps. I just do, I call it like knocking on the door, tap, tap, tap. And I'm gonna bring this down just a bit because I wanna put the Mary above it. So I'm gonna stick that on like so. And then I'm gonna come in with that little, where's it at? Mary. Again, just tap, tap, tap. Don't these, you know, our ink pads are, I call them juicy. They're pretty juicy. So you don't really need to push hard on them. And if you do, you get ink everywhere. Okay, so then there's the Mary. So that's the Merry Christmas. And then down here, we're gonna come in with the Mossy Meadow ink. And we're gonna be using these small trees, which is part of that season Peaceful Evergreens. And again, I'm just gonna tap, tap, tap. Can you hear? It's like I'm knocking on a door. And you can always check your stamp to make sure it's covered good. And then I'm just gonna go a little bit below this edge and stamp that down there. Yay! Oh, I feel like I'm up in the forest. What about you guys? I love the mountains. So maybe that's why I'm so partial to this set. Okay, so let me set this to the side. Let me clean my stamps. Give you guys a chance to catch up. And for those of you guys that are junk journalers, yeah, all of this stamping off that I'm doing over here, I can cut this whole piece of paper out and actually use that to decorate my junk journal. So this is one of my new classes, is the junk journal class, and we're learning how to use everything. So even these scrap pieces of paper that we normally would throw away, we can actually take this whole little section right here and use it. I can, you know, stamp over it. I can add book pages, whatever to it. So yeah, so that nothing goes to waste now that I'm doing junk journaling, which is probably a bad thing. My husband's probably like, you're never going to throw anything away again. Okay, so we have this other mat. So we're going to take this one and we are going to just mount this onto that one. And again, like I said with the other one, if you don't want to waste this much paper, you can cut things out of the middle of this, because all you need is this little itty bitty outline. I have some rectangle dies, and so a lot of times I'll cut a rectangle out of the middle. Alrighty. So now we're going to put this up. And I don't know if I finished my sentence before. Again, guys, if you are watching the replay, you can still type in questions. They will show up on my feed, and when I see them, I will answer them. So don't feel bad if you missed the live and you're watching it after the fact. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, and this is one of the things I love about our rhinestone jewels. Again, so again, guys, if you're on a budget and you see all these beautiful embellishments that we use, but you just can't afford it, get the rhinestones and get some blends. Get a couple of colors of the blends, because you can color these any color that you need to match whatever you're doing. And so again, it really helps to save some money in the long run. Even though I know we all want all of the bling, I get it. I'm the same way. Okay, so here's card number 3. Isn't that so pretty? A season of wonder and happiness. Can you guys see the bling on there? Guys, do you see how easy these cards are? Quick and easy, but they're absolutely beautiful. People are going to think you took so much time to make these cards for them. All right. Now the last card does take a little bit longer just because it is a what we call fun fold cards. It still doesn't take too long, but it does take some time. All right. And I should have stamped some stuff for you ahead of time, but I didn't, because I want to show you how you can get this done. Okay, so what you guys are going to need is you're going to need a pretty peacock piece that is 4 1/4 by 11. And then what you're going to do is you're going to bring in your, I have a scorer. The neat thing about our trimmers is it has the gray is the scorer and the dark is the cutter. And so what you're going to do is you're going to turn it this way and you're going to score at 2 inches. And then scoot it over to 4 inches. And then scoot it over to 5 1/2 inches. Okay, so that was 2 inches. I did 2 inches, 4 inches, 5 1/2 inches. All right, now we're going to fold this. And this is called burnishing. So basically we're going to just burnish all of these edges. And all that really means is that you're just reinforcing where you want this card to fold. Okay, and that's how kind of we want it to fold. And you can do them the other way if you feel like it's not really moving the way you want it. So we're going to set that to the side. We're going to do our stamping because we need some trees again, and we need oh, that's what I was going to tell you. Okay, then what you're going to need on the basic beige is you're going to need some mats. These mats are 1 3/4 by 4. They're all 4 inches, so it's, let me make sure that's 1 3/4. Oh, 1 7/8. I lied. So the mats are 1 7/8 by 4. You need 2 that are 1 7/8 by 4, and you need 1 that is, I believe, 1 3/8 by 4. Then you're going to take a piece of the, now look at this one, pretty peacock with the gold. And these are going to be, you're going to need 2 that are 1 3/4 by 4. You're going to need 1 that is 1 1/4 by 4. And then you're going to need a 1/2 inch by 4 strip. All right. Then you're going to need a piece that is approximately 3 1/4 by 7. And we're going to stamp the trees onto this, but this time we're using Pretty Peacock ink. Okay. And we're going to do all 3 of those trees again. Okay, so here's the big tree. And then we need that medium tree. And you'll see that I do still conserve paper while I'm doing this. But I am making it all kind of fit on the one. And then again, I have to leave a little bit of room up at the top for my sentiment. So I've got those right there. And then I'm actually going to kind of bring in my sentiment die because I want to make sure, yes, okay. I've left enough room. And we're going to use Hoping This Season, if I can find it. Is this it? Yep. Okay. Hoping This Season. Okay. And again, I kind of want to like give some room around so that the die is going to fit. So we're going to stick that on there like that. Okay, so get caught up on that stamping while I clean my stamps. So again, I'm just going to stamp off. I'm going to do all my stamping off first, and then I'm going to come in with my cleaner and get these cleaned. And like I said, it's good to always stamp off onto a scrap piece of paper, because then there's less ink on here and it cleans quicker. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and clean each of these. I didn't do my inside, did I? Dang it. I will do that. Do I have the other piece? I think I am missing my 4 by 5 1/4 piece. So I'll have to cut that. I thought I was all ready for this class. Apparently not. All right. So we're getting all those clean. And hopefully you're getting caught up with that stamping. And let me see if I've got my... I don't see my 4 by 5 1/4, so I'm going to go ahead and cut one really quick. So this was that other half of the card base. I'm just going to cut a 4 by 5 1/4. Because you're going to need that. Again, if you're placing an order and you get the card kits, you'll have all that with you. And then what we're going to do on this one is right down here at the very bottom, we are going to stamp the sentiment, "Love from our home to yours," if I can find it. Oh, I know it's here somewhere. There it is. These photopolymer, I don't know about you guys, but when I have them all out on my desk, it's amazing how it can be sitting right in front of me and I can lose sight of it. So easy. All right. So I am going to just kind of center it and put it right down at this bottom edge. Okay, just like so. So let's stamp that off. Let's clean that, and then we are going to be ready to start putting this card together. Oh, no, I've got to die cut first. Well, that's if I can find my stamp cleaner. Oh my gosh. All right. So that's clean. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, this time we can bring in the smaller, I believe. Yep. Smaller die cut machine, because this is only about 3 inches wide. And so I should be able to get all of these cut out. All right, so let's do the same thing again. We're going to bring in our dies and we're going to line them up. And I'm going to use my Post-it note tape. So if you guys don't know what this is, Post-it note puts out a tape, and it's kind of like a washi tape, but it's sticky. And so I just love it for using with my die cuts. Now, if you have washi tape, you can use washi tape. It'll work just fine. It's just that Lisa Curcio from Stampin' Up! Introduced me to this stuff, and I'm in love with it now. All right, so let's see if I can get this one on here as well. We might be able to get all of the dies cut. We'll see. Nope. See how I'm a little too close to this tree? But I think I can get that sentiment one cut out. Let me just pull this down a little bit. And we're going to stick that right up there. Like so. I'm just going to stand up because I want to make sure I'm not off the top edge of that. Nope, I'm right on that edge. Okay. Ah, that one's trying to move. Where's my tape? once I get these all cut out, this will go together pretty quick. So I won't go too far past 7. And of course I did talk at the beginning of this, so I do have a little bit more time than I'm thinking. Okay. This might be a little too long for this, so what I'm going to do is, what am I going to do? I think I'm just going to cut this first. So I'm going to do my little sentiment. I'm going to run it through. Yeah, sometimes it won't catch. If you have things too close to this top edge, a lot of times it won't feed through. So I'm going to scoot that back. And let's see if we can get that to run through. And we're just going to run through the sentiment and then come back through. And I'm going to take that off. And then I'll be able to run the rest of it. Okay. Yeah, this one, it gets a little temperamental if it's too thick when you're first trying to run it through. But I do want that all the way up there because this tree is right on this bottom edge. So we're going to run this through, get those two trees off, then we'll come back through, get the little tree, and then, oh, I have to run the detail part, the detail part of the trees as well. I was going to do this ahead of time, but I did not. Okay, so there's that one, this one. I need the little one. And then this die set also has these really pretty detailed, it's kind of like the inner branches of the tree, if you will. And so we're going to cut those out of gold foil and show you how to make this card super special. All right. So let's send this through. So I'm not seeing any questions. So again, if you guys are putting them in, I am not seeing them on my end, and I do apologize. Something's going on my end, I'm sure, not yours. Okay, so then I'm going to bring in some gold foil. I'm actually going to do this on the other machine so I can cut it all at once. So let me bring the big one in. Okay, whoops, let's move that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put this gold foil. I need a couple of pieces. So this die set, besides having like these little bows and this other fun stuff, it also has this really fun piece here. And then it has what I call the innards of the tree. And so we are going to cut out one of each of these for our trees. I'm going to just stick those in place. Let's see if this one will fit here. If not, yep, okay. And then we're going to put the little one right there on that. I mean, if you want to save space, you can do it that way. All right, so let's run this through. So we're running this through. Oh, maybe. All right. Yeah, and I hope this is live in all of these places because, like I said, I know Facebook has been kind of weird lately, and hopefully everything came through and you guys are able to see this. All right. I will get all of my dies put back properly in just a hot second. Okay. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so now we have these pieces. We need to clean these up just a little bit. And when I talk about cleaning up, what I mean is that sometimes when you pull these out of the die, it doesn't take all the little pieces of paper out of it. Let me just get that off of there. And so it's always good to make sure that you clean these up, because I can see all these little dots that are supposed to not be in here. So I'm gonna just take my little tweezers, since my take your pick tool is on another desk right now. All right, so here we go. Just poking all these out. All right, now we are ready to start putting this card together. And so the first thing we're going to do, oh, there's that little, look how cute that, isn't that one just adorable? Super cute labels on this one. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna turn this over, and I'm just gonna hit it in a couple of spots with my liquid glue. And you guys know I'm always telling you, just put little dots. It's so funny when I teach my junk journal class, I tell them the exact opposite. No, you need to put quite a bit of glue on there. So, but card making is a little bit different. So basically this just kind of fits right like so onto the front of that. And then let's get the medium one and the small one. And then for sure, we're going to be ready to get this put together. So it looks like I may go about 15 minutes over tonight. So I hope you guys will bear with me as I get this last easel card put together, because I think you're really going to love it. And I hope you guys will make these cards, even if you don't make a purchase from me, but you've got some stamp sets at home and you're using your stuff. I would love you to send me a picture of your version of these cards. I would love to see it. I'm always inspired by all of you and the things that you create. Watching other people. That's how I get some of my inspiration, is I watch other people, or I do swaps. And I get swap cards in, and those cards are, I will use that same layout and use a different stamp set and create some really fun cards. That's a good reason to do swaps, is because it gives you a lot of fun ideas. And if you don't know what swaps is when, you design a card, and let's say you're swapping with 12 other people. And so you design one card and you make 12 of them. And then you hand in your 12. I'm so sorry. You package up your 12 and then you trade, and you end up getting 12 brand new ideas, 12 different ideas for using different sets. Okay, so let's go ahead and mat our pieces here and get this part done. So obviously, this should be pretty self-explanatory. We're just going to match these up with the mats that they go to. Alrighty, so we're gonna put this one on here. Okay, and then these two are gonna go on these other two mats. So this part should be pretty simple for you guys to follow along with. Oh, I forgot. And the other thing is, if you do get the card kits, you will also get the PDFs. So you will get a printed step-by-step written instruction of how to put these cards together. I always forget that I do that because I'm just so used to doing it. I just don't ever mention it. So you'll get all 4 card kits, all the pieces to put the 4 card kits together. If there's any die cutting like this gold, that will be die cut for you and sent in the package. And then you'll get a PDF instructional video. Okay, then we're going to use that gold ribbon because I'm in love with it. And we're just going to, on the back of this, put a little stripe here, little stripe here, and we're going to take this this gold ribbon. And some of you may still have some of this because we had it for you know, a little bit, and I really liked it. I was really sorry to see it go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these pieces and we're going to put them, actually let's do the inside piece first. So we're going to take our piece that we stamped down here, and we are going to stick this on the inside with this Love from Our House to Yours at the bottom. Okay, so that's gonna, whoops, I did not get that straight. All right, there's that. And then we're gonna take this piece and we're gonna put all of the pieces on the front where they belong. Whoops, what is happening? I'm getting to the end of my roll here. Just so you guys know, when you start getting to the end of the roll, it can start getting temperamental. So beware. All right, let me make sure my ribbon is straight. And then I want to put this piece. This is the smallest piece. It goes on the top. And then you're just going to trickle it down. So then we're going to take this piece. It's going to go in the next little section. Down here. So I don't know if any of you guys have been watching my site. I had talked about, you know, my daughter who had passed away and how much she loved Halloween. So you guys, if you didn't hear that video and you're wondering, why am I posting all these Halloween costumes? It was because my daughter prided herself on her family Halloween costumes. And so I'll be doing the final one tomorrow night for Halloween. But you've gotten to see a few of the years of her and all of the costumes. A lot of those she handmade. And so that's what you've been seeing on my site. So you can choose to glue this down or not. I like to glue it down. So I'm going to, on the inside of this top section, I'm going to put some Stamp and Seal because I want this, because I think it helps the easel to stay up a little bit better. Okay, and I am missing my pretty peacock piece. It was here earlier and it is now missing in action. So let me go grab one of those. I'm going to have to cut that as well. Man, I'm a hot mess tonight. Okay, so this is a piece that you'll get in your kit, and this one is going to be 3/4 of an inch by 4. And I am going to show you a little trick to when we're trying to cut small pieces. Sometimes it's hard to get it to stay in place. So I take that same Post-it note tape and I will put it at 3/4 of an inch on that side, and then I'll put my tape, oh, I have it sitting right there, on this side, and that holds it in place for me, so it makes it easier for me to cut. So I'm going to just set that up there too. So now I have 2 pieces up there. Hopefully I'll see those the next time I go to do this. Okay, so then we're going to take this piece, and it is going to, oh, see, I'm out of my Stamp and Seal. So we are going to use some liquid glue here. Glad I have multiple glues sitting on my workspace. Okay, and it is the same length, but it is skinnier. So you want to center the top and, top and bottom, and then left and right, it's going to be, those edges will be flush. And then what we're going to do with this is we're going to bring in our dimensionals again. And this is going to end up being popped up because this is going to be the piece that actually holds that stencil in place. And I apologize, guys, if you are typing in things. I am not seeing them tonight. I don't know why, but I will go back if there are any comments and hopefully answer any questions for you. I do apologize. All right. So basically this is going to come into the inside and it's going to sit just above that little sentiment that's down there. And so it is going to, I always have to move this so I can make sure I'm getting this straight. So it's going to sit just like this, and see, then our easel will catch on that little piece right there. All right, so let's get the front of this done. We're almost done. Now, the vital part of this is we're going to do these trees the same way we did on that last card. The only difference is, see where this folds up? You want to make sure that none of your glue is going to be above that line. So what I do is I lay my piece down. This is just my little secret. And then I grab it and I put my finger down low enough, and so I know not to put any glue above where my finger is. Then I can come in here and I can set this tree here. Again, I always kind of set my big one in place so that I kind of know where to put my medium one. And again, it can't go past this line, so I'm going to grab with my finger below that, and then I'm going to put glue below that line right there. Going to move this, oops, I needed that in there. Okay, so that needs to sit right there. Okay, same thing with our big one. We're going to bring it in here. I'm going to bring my finger down below that line so I know that please do not put glue above this, or we have just destroyed the easel part of the card, because we want our card to be able to set up and be a really fun display piece. So that's going to sit like that. Then we are going, oh shoot, I forgot. I had stamped this so that I was supposed to cut it the other way. That's okay. We're not doing that. So now I'm just going to put some glue on this, and this is just going to sit right between these two trees here. I'm going to bring in some glue dots because I have a little tiny bow that I'm going to put up here that I tied with that ribbon. So I always use 2 glue dots because it helps me to make sure the legs lay the way I want them to lay, if that makes sense. So now I'm just going to take this, and we're just going to stick that down like so. Going to bring that leg down and catch it on that glue dot. Okay, so we are done with our final card. And you'll see that this does set up like an easel. And then let me see if that, you can kind of, well, maybe this way. So this can be a cute little display in the house. So it says, hoping the season is bright and beautiful, love from our house to yours. So how fun is that? So let's bring in our cards for the night that we did, so that you can see everything that we made with this particular bundle. And again, so I used 2 bundles. One is the Peaceful Season bundle. There's the number for that if you decide you want that. That's the one that has the sentiments. Here. It has the sentiments and the label. So it's this. Sorry, I've got all of my dies. It's this stamp set with these really pretty dies. Okay, the next bundle is the Peaceful Evergreens. And of course, that one is the one with the trees. Sorry, so it has a 2-piece die set, and then it has the stamps that we've been using tonight with the trees. Okay, the other items that I used, just so that you guys have a list of what was used tonight, just take a snapshot of that, and that shows you everything that I used. I didn't put the retired ribbon on there, and I think I forgot to put the neutral sequence on there as well. But that's pretty much everything that I used with the inks and everything else. And then if you do want to shop with me, you can just do a scan that QR code. It'll take you straight to my online store. And like I said, you have from now until Monday to place a $40 order, and you will get the card kits for free when you do that. Please use that hostess code. And you can, and again, if you use the QR code, you go straight to my site. All right, so let's look at those cards. Card 1, just with stamping. Card 2. Card 3. And then card 4. Guys, absolutely beautiful cards. I did go 722, but it's because I had to do a little bit of talking. But literally, I could have gotten all 4 of these cards done in less than an hour. So anyway, guys, I hope that was helpful. I hope that it gave you an insight to how well or how easy you can make some Christmas cards and get them out. It's not too late. But again, we are on week 1 of Christmas cards. So this is week 1. Next week, I'm going to have 4 more Christmas cards to show you guys. So I hope you will join in with me and get ready with pen and paper, because if you don't want to order, don't want to get the card kits, it's perfectly fine. Just write down all the measurements that I give you. And if you do like these cards and you like the layouts, you can just re-watch this, and I did go through all of those measurements for you. So guys, I really appreciate you being with me tonight. Time is precious, and anytime you guys spend time with me, it makes me super happy. So everybody have a good rest of your week. I do have a paper pumpkin alternative class tomorrow, so I'm going to get to see some ladies and have some fun tomorrow. But the rest of you have a great week, and I will be talking to some of you, hopefully a lot of you,